there are some areas, like my country, Iran, some indexes are declining very seriously, like GDP and freedom of speech and things like this. I think the only thing that we need is a realistic hope for change. And do you have anything to share with people with this situation? Yeah.
When it comes to the parts of the world that are not experiencing the gifts of liberal democracy, China, Russia, Iran in particular, it's impossible to deliver some formula or algorithm for what to do because the state does have power. And this is a theme of my most recent book, When Everyone Knows That Everyone Knows, that nonviolent regime change does happen. My colleague Erica Chenoweth at Harvard has shown that nonviolent resistance movements have a higher success rate than violent ones. Although, unfortunately, as part of this process, their success rate has been declining over the last 20 years as dictators catch on. And there's a dictator's learning curve where they become more effective at protecting their realm. But we know that there are others. There are other nonviolent revolutions that brought about constructive regime change. It obviously requires some people with a lot of guts and moxie, courage. It also requires coordination, and that's the theme when everyone knows that everyone knows. The advantage that autocracies have is not that they literally have enough muscle, enough firepower to intimidate every last citizen. No autocracy has that. The will was to actually make the citizens incapable of disliking the regime. That is not particularly realistic. Modern autocracies couldn't possibly try to do that, and they don't need to do that. Because if they can prevent their citizens from coordinating, that's all they need to do. Everyone could hate the regime, but as long as people don't know that other people hate the regime and don't know that other people know that other people know that, that is, as long as there isn't the common knowledge, then it can survive with a fraction of the firepower that would be needed to intimidate every last person. Regimes have to ensure that the population can't coordinate, that each one has to worry, I hate the regime, but how do I know that everyone else will, so they will oppose it at the same time that I do? So public protests are ways of generating the common knowledge that can threaten a regime. And in some cases, it is a public assembly that dooms the regime. People already know what's wrong with the regime privately. They may even suspect that other people know it, but to get everyone to know that everyone knows it so they can act in concert is the real challenge.